Today we're going to be talking about lesson 6.3, the percent proportion. So the percent proportion can be represented by A is P percent of W with the proportion. So remember that proportions are two fractions set equal to each other. So A is the part, W is the whole, and P is the percent out of 100 because remember percents are out of 100 total. So here we can see that 3 out of 4 is 75%. So 3 over 4 equals 75 over 100. So remember that the word is often represents an equal sign. Other words that we can use other than the part and the whole. So this could often be represented. The part, the word is going to be somewhere near the part often, except for there is sometimes two of the words is in the direction. So let's take a look at what some of these are going to mean. So then the word of often is near the number that will be the whole. So let's take a look at some of these examples. So write and solve a proportion to answer the question. So what percent of 5 is 3? So for number 1, of 5 is 3. What percent is what we're looking for? So of is the whole is 3. So 3 is the part is equal to what percent? We don't know, out of 100. Now we can cross multiply and divide or use that cross products or butterfly method. So 3 times 100 is 300. 5 times P is 5P. We can then divide both sides by 5 to find out that P is 60 or 60%. Now let's take a look at number 2. So for number 2, 25 is what percent of 20? So part, whole, what percent is the number that we're looking for? So 25 over 20 is equal to the percent over 100. Again, we can cross multiply. 20 times P is 20P. 25 times 100 is 2500. Divide by 20 on both sides. And P is equal to 125%. Now, let's take a look at number 3. What number is 80% of 60? So what number is? We don't know. So the part of 60 is the whole is equal to 80% over 100. Again, we cross multiply. A times 100 is 100A. 60 times 80 is 4800. We divide by 100 on both sides to find that A is 48. So the part is 48. Now go ahead and try number 4 on your own. Now, as you see with number 4, 10% of 40.5 is what number? So we don't know what the part is. Of 40.5 is the whole. 10% goes over 100. Again, we can cross multiply. 100 times A is 100A. 40.5 times 10 is 405. Divide by that 100 on both sides to find that A, or the part, is 4.05. Now let's take a look at number 5. 0.1% of what number is 4? So we know the percent, 0.1 over 100. Of what number? Of tells us that that is the whole. Is 4. 4 is the part. So again, 0.1 times W is 0.1 W. 4 times 100 is 400. Divide both sides by 0.1 to find that W is equal to 4,000. Now, go ahead and take a look at number 6 and try to set up the proportion on your own. Now, we can see on number 6 that we're going to have a complex fraction, a fraction within a fraction. So 1/2 is 25% of what number? So 1/2 is the part. Of what number? Of tells us the whole, so that's the W. Is equal to 25 out of 100. Again, we're going to cross multiply. 25 times W is 25W. 1/2 times 100. Half times 100 is 50. Dividing by 25 on both sides to get W equals 2. On number 7, it says 20% of the tornadoes occurred in central Alabama on April 27th. How many tornadoes does this represent? So we know here that we have a number. We have 20%. So when we're looking at our proportion, we have the part over the whole is equal to the percent over the 100. Well, we know the percent from the problem. So 20 over 100. Now we either need the part or the whole. We need to decide which one we can find. So how many tornadoes occurred on this date? Well, that's likely the part because we're not talking about the total number of tornadoes. We're talking about the portion that occurred on this day. So we know that we're missing the part. Well, from this information and the picture, how can we find the whole? Well, here we can see that they're giving us the number of tornadoes of each strength category. So to find the total number of tornadoes, we can add or find the sum of the total of from each of the categories. So go ahead and find the total number of tornadoes from the chart. Now, you can see here that I have added all of the tornadoes from this chart. So one from each category, one number from each category. Found the total to be 145. So there were 145 tornadoes in Alabama in 2011. So that's going to be our whole. Now again, we can cross multiply and divide to find the answer. So go ahead and give this a try right now. Now go ahead and check your work with mine. So A times 100 is 100A. 145 times 20 is 2,900. Divide both sides by 100 to find that the part, or the number of tornadoes that occurred in central Alabama on April 27th, is 29 tornadoes.